Hi guys! So for this video, I'm just going to demonstrate how to create very quick Lores model of a cubic character. I'm planning to use this as my rigging demo character. Okay. Basically, I'm eyeing to create um, a character such as or something like this. Okay, so I'm not going to make this real time, so I'm gonna speed up the video from this time onward. Okay, so basically, this is how it looks like now. Okay. Now, let me hide this. But before I hide this, let me rename it to cubic character. Okay. And then, I'm going to create another one, which is a mannequin, a figure mannequin, which I asked you to do during our first meeting in AdBrop. So, I'm going to make this a quick demo from this time on. So at this point, I'm going to compare my previous model with the current model. I want to make sure that they are of the same size. So since I started my second object from a sphere, primitive sphere, okay, and then I just extrude, and move the extruded faces, okay. The center of my second object is at the center of the head. Let me check the other one. Same thing with the other one because I made it out of cube primitive. Okay, so let me try to scale it down to maybe proportionate to the first character. The reason for this is because I'll try to make one skeletal setup, okay, and then I will apply it to the three characters, wherein I'm going to create another one, another character. So I'm going to apply the same rig to a multiple three different objects, or three different character. They are the three of them were modeled differently. So let's check how does modeling affects your rigging. What are the limits? Um, what are the advantage or disadvantages of each? So um, I'm trying to make sure that these characters has the same size, so that when I attach or created the rig or the skeleton, it basically matches the width and height for both character, for all three character actually. So I'm not going to go into details on these characters, but I forgot to add segments here, so I might need to add segment, but maybe I'll do it later. Okay, so I'm going to name the second one as spherical model character. Okay, so they are of the same size. Okay, I want to keep them in one place. Okay, the reason for that is because our skeleton are automatically created in the center of the world, unless you created it outside the center of the world. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this. Okay, or maybe I can just add it into layer. Okay, and then select, add selected object, and then I'll just make it transparent. Okay, same thing with this one. So I can refer to these two characters, the size of my third character. Okay, the third character, I'm going to use multiple object. Okay, same thing, I'll try to make a characters like this one. Okay, the mannequin model. Okay, but this time I'm going to create multiple objects, using multiple objects. Okay, so I'm going to add this and make it transparent, and then I'm going to rename this as cubic character, to remind me that this is the cubic character, and this one is for spherical. I cannot name it the same as the name on the outliner, because Maya will recognize that they're having the same name. So I'll just make the layer name shorter than the object name. Okay, since we're done, I already made it transparent. As you can see, if you made it transparent, the object turned into lighter gray, so you can see through it. At least refer to it for the size. Okay, and then at the same time, the model is there, it's not hidden, you can select it. Okay, but you cannot select it from here. Okay, you have to select it on your outliner. Now let me go through. If you don't by the way, if you don't wanna see it, just hit on V. You don't need to hit on Control H. And then if you want to unhide or make it visible, just click on this area. Okay, so this is the layer area. I think I wasn't able to discuss this previous term. So additional knowledge. Okay, let me save it. Save. Okay, now for the third, I'm going to make a multiple object. So I'll start it with a sphere. Usually model in a very low res. Uh, few segments will do. Okay, you don't need too much details when modeling. Try to, as much as possible, model in a small number of information, and then you can just add more segments to it as you need it. So do not try to attempt to model with large number of segments. Okay, the reason for it is because it's harder to lessen the number of segments eventually than try to be conservative in adding, or start it conservatively with few number of segments, and then you just have to add more segment as you go on. Okay, so this one, since our mannequin is um, a little it has joints. Okay, so I'm going to follow the joint points of our mannequin. So I'm going from this onward. I'm going to discuss how you parent your object, especially if you have a character with multiple geometry. Okay, just take note that every time you parent your object, you need to consider which is the child and which is the parent. The parent always controls the children or the child. Okay, but if the child moves or transform, the parent ignores whatever transformation the child or the children has. So if I want this to be controlled by another object, it has to be the ankle. So you have to parent the foot to the ankle. Now if I try to move or rotate my ankle, as you can see, it's rotating properly. Okay. Now, if there's an object that has to be controlled by another object, okay, the ankle, the next parent to it, or the next hierarchy up, will be the legs. Okay, and then the legs on the knees. Okay, but you're not supposed to rotate your lower legs using the lower leg. Okay, you have to rotate it through the knee, because the knee binds the upper legs and the lower legs. Okay, but it favors the lower leg. Okay, now for the upper legs, although the knee is a child of the upper leg, okay, the reason for that is because it has to follow the joint that is connecting the lower body and or the leg and the lower body. Okay, so this has to be parented on the hips. The hips is the parent or the root parent of the entire body. So whenever you move your hips, the entire body moves along with it. Okay, so as for the upper body, okay, the waist is the next parent to the upper body, or the parent for the upper body is the waist, and then you have the upper body here. Okay, and then the next parent to it is the neck. Do not make the head the parent of the neck. Supposedly, when we move our neck, okay, the head will follow, not the other way around. So you don't control, the head doesn't control the neck, but the neck controls the head. Okay, so next in line with the hierarchy is the shoulder. It's supposed to, the upper and lower arms should follow whatever the movement of the shoulder joint. And then the next hierarchy or parent is the elbow, and then the wrist, and then the hand. Okay, so this is the hierarchy if we have multiple objects. So we'll end this demo, and then on another video I'm going to show you the differences on how to do rig for this or skeletal setup for this. But for the first part of it, I'm going to show you how to use a single skeletal setup to a multiple or different object, 3 different object, which is the cubic, the spherical, and the multiple object. Okay, so I'm gonna end this video by let me put it on a layer, add selected, and then multi-object and then maybe I should name it the same here. Save multi object character. Okay, so we'll be saving it and ending the video.